That's why he wanted to get out, so bad. But I think that they're gonna railroad Diddy. Do I think that they're maggots in the food? I won't trust anything when you of the stature of Diddy. Do I think they give every inmate maggot food? Probably not. But when you're public enemy number one,
I think there's so many powerful people that are on those lists. There's so many powerful people that went and partied. Air quotes, partied. And how many of them went to the Diddy parties? Have you been paying attention to the trial?
Oh, yeah.
Trials. Wild.
Why don't they air it the same way they aired the coverage that, Johnny Depp got?
I know. Why don't they? I don't know. They should. The ratings would be amazing.
Unreal.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing? Why wouldn't you air that?
What's going to happen, though, you think?
Well, Diddy's going to be in jail for the rest of his life. I think he's probably going to get
think he's
hit up.
Saying though?
I don't know. I don't even think it matters. I mean, it's a lot of it is.
But then it's just another Epstein. It's another Ghislaine Maxwell, where somebody gets indicted and nobody else indicted for trafficking kids to.
Right, to no one.
Think prison goes easy on rich, famous names. Joe Rogan says it actually makes it worse. According to him, when celebs like Diddy hit prison, fame doesn't protect them. It puts a target on their back. And once those doors close, money and status start to mean different things. And with cases like Luigi Mangione's blowing up right now, it hits way closer to reality than most folks want to admit.
With that breaking news, new revelations in the case against Luigi Mangione, the man accused of murdering a healthcare executive.
Prosecutors have just revealed this new police body camera video. They say it captures the arrest as it happened. This is actually when the officers are walking in to that McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Also, for the first time, we are seeing these pictures of what prosecutors say are notes written by Mangione. One of them is an alleged escape route. There are also photos you see there of the gun and the silencer that prosecutors believe were used to kill United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson.
He's pleaded not guilty to a stack of state and federal charges: stalking, weapons counts, murder, even federal counts prosecutors once tried to paint as terrorism, though a judge already tossed the terror tags. Mangione remains locked up at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, a prison with terrible conditions, same one Diddy was incarcerated at, while his lawyers battle in court to suppress evidence. Federal prosecutors still want the death penalty, and if that motion survives, Mangione could face decades or even his life behind bars. Next name, spinning through the mix, R. Kelly. Dude went from R&B superstar to federal inmate after a string of shocking convictions. In 2021, a Brooklyn federal court found him guilty of racketeering, trafficking, exploitation, and related crimes. And in 2022, a Chicago jury convicted him again on child porn and enticement charges, leading to a combined 30-plus year prison sentence that keeps him behind bars for decades to come.
But we do begin tonight with singer R. Kelly, sentenced to 30 years behind bars after his conviction on racketeering and sex trafficking charges. Prosecutors accused him of leading a criminal enterprise of managers, bodyguards, and other employees to recruit and abuse women, underage girls, and a teenage boy. Accusations swirled around him for decades, and authorities believe for years his actions were protected by his fame.
Kelly was initially held at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Chicago, but was later transferred to the Federal Correctional Institution in Butner, North Carolina, a medium security federal prison where he is currently serving out the bulk of his term. Life on the inside has reportedly been harsh. Attorneys have claimed he was placed in solitary confinement and even hospitalized after an alleged prison overdose, with motions seeking home confinement denied by a judge, and his lawyers even stating all inmates deserve rights to medical care, and the MCC, which Kelly was held at the time, wasn't providing that.
Every prisoner deserves medical attention, medical care. The MCC is required to address these things.
Despite fame and fortune that once insulated him on the outside, behind bars, Kelly faces the same brutal routine as other inmates. He was even attacked and beaten once by a fellow inmate, gang member Jeremiah Farmer. Turns out status behind bars brings resentment, danger, and strict restrictions, a stark contrast to R. Kelly's life as a chart-topping artist. Next up, Ghislaine Maxwell, the once socialite at the center of one of the darkest scandals of the 21st century. Maxwell was arrested in July 2020 and in December 2021 was convicted in U.S. federal court on multiple charges for her role in recruiting and trafficking underage girls for convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. In June 2022, she was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison for her crimes, and she began serving time at a low-security federal facility in Tallahassee, Florida. Her conviction was upheld on appeal, and efforts to have the U.S. Supreme Court hear her case were rejected, leaving her sentence in place.
We are also following breaking news. Ghislaine Maxwell will serve 20 years in prison for sex trafficking. A federal judge announcing that sentence within the last hour. Now, Maxwell was convicted of helping to recruit young girls to be abused by her longtime associate, Jeffrey Epstein, back in December. The judge saying, quote, "The damage done to these girls was incalculable."
In August 2025, Maxwell was transferred to the federal prison camp in Bryan, Texas, a minimum security federal prison where inmates live in dorm-style housing and there's little to no perimeter fencing, a stark contrast to harsher federal facilities. She isn't due for release until 2037, barring a pardon or commutation. Despite the prison's relatively relaxed security level, Maxwell's life behind bars is far from easy. Even minimum security camps lack the freedom and comfort of the outside world, and her high-profile status continues to attract scrutiny. She has reportedly sought to overturn her conviction and even petitioned for clemency, but those efforts haven't yet changed her legal standing. And the next name on the list, believe it or not, Nicolas Maduro, the former president of Venezuela. Yeah, the guy captured in a dramatic U.S. military operation in Caracas and flown to New York to face a slate of federal charges, including narco-terrorism, drug trafficking, conspiracy, and weapons offenses tied to an alleged illegal substance network and collaboration with violent gangs and cartels, charges he vehemently denies.
President Donald Trump has announced that the United States intends to run Venezuela after it carried out a large-scale attack and claimed to have captured its president, Nicolas Maduro, flying him out of the country with his wife. Explosions were heard in the capital, Caracas, this morning, as well as in other Venezuelan cities. Nicolas Maduro has already been charged in New York with drugs and weapons offenses.
Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, appeared in a federal courthouse in Manhattan after their unexpected capture and pleaded not guilty, with Maduro calling himself a prisoner of war and insisting he is still the legitimate president of Venezuela. Right now, Maduro is being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, in Brooklyn, one of the most notorious federal lockups in the United States, known for harsh conditions, overcrowding, violence, and poor sanitation, a far cry from the luxury of presidential palaces. This is the same facility that has housed other high-profile inmates such as R. Kelly, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Luigi Mangione. Behind bars, fame doesn't translate into comfort. Guards and other inmates often treat well-known prisoners differently, sometimes with resentment, sometimes with scrutiny, and MDC's environment is widely considered tough and unforgiving. Maduro's next court date is set for March 17th, 2026, and until then, he remains detained under federal custody, facing the prospect of decades behind bars, possibly even the death penalty if prosecutors pursue the harshest charges. Then there's Sean Combs, also known as Diddy. Since his conviction on federal prostitution-related charges, Diddy has been living a reality far removed from private jets and gated estates. He was initially held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, a facility infamous for harsh conditions, constant lighting, noise, and overcrowding. MDC has housed other high-profile inmates over the years, and its reputation alone was a shock to anyone used to celebrity comfort. But after sentencing, Diddy was transferred to FCY Fort Dix in New Jersey, a low-security federal prison where he is serving roughly a 4-year term, subject to good conduct credits. Inside, life is routine, exposed, and monitored. Reports say inmates wake early, sleep on thin mattresses, share communal bathrooms, and live with near constant supervision. Even at Fort Dix, where programs and limited work assignments exist, there's no VIP lane. Fame doesn't buy privacy. In fact, it can make things harder, drawing attention from staff and inmates alike. And the street been loud, from alleged rule-bending phone calls to claims about tension with other inmates. Diddy's team has pushed back on several allegations, disputing violations and insisting attorney-client communications were mischaracterized. There have also been reports of Diddy trying to stay productive. Accounts say he participated in treatment programs and worked in the Chapo library. One widely reported moment described him helping organize a Thanksgiving meal for over 1,000 inmates, an unusual leadership role that sparked mixed reactions. Some saw it as rehabilitation, others as image management, but there's been some online speculation swirling around his health and appearance, with observers noting him looking thinner and grayer. Early theories are that he stopped eating because he ain't got the private expensive chef lifestyle he's used to. Then talk came about maggots in the prison food as another reason he wasn't touching meals, sending shockwaves through fans and industry insiders alike.
That's why he wanted to get out, so bad. But I think that they're gonna railroad Diddy. Do I think that there are maggots in the food? I I mean, I won't trust anything when you of the stature of Diddy. Do I think they give every inmate maggot food? Probably not.
And things took a darker turn when the talk shifted from stress to health rumors. Word on the street started pushing claims that Diddy's body was breaking down from something deeper, alleged STD issues, even whispers of HIV. None of it confirmed, but the rumors didn't come out of nowhere. For years, people have talked about his alleged down-low lifestyle, secret trips, male escorts, and closed-door parties nobody ever fully explained. Those stories picked up more steam after the federal raids. Feds reportedly found hundreds of bottles of baby oil and no protection in sight, which only fueled the narrative of reckless, anything-goes behavior.
And they seized cases and cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs. More than 1,000 bottles altogether.
Insiders describe those parties as extreme, chaotic, and far removed from normal reality, more like rituals than celebrations. Jaguar Wright even added gasoline to the fire, publicly claiming Diddy had been battling HIV and hinting that multiple other industry men were dealing with the same thing. She didn't name names, but framed it as a quiet epidemic hiding behind fame, money, and silence.
I mean, he actually caught HIV, like having like a lot of women.
Oh yeah, let's just go down the rabbit hole of all of his sins.
I'm just saying.
You want to know what's wild about that though? He faced that head up.
He did.
He didn't stop doing what he's done.
He an advocate. Now he did that, and
period. Listen to me. He faced that head up. How many dudes is running around undetectable? G.
Come on.
In the game.
Man.
Because I could tell you 20 right now that I could rattle off names.
Then came the prison rumors. Whispers say Diddy's alleged down-low behavior didn't stop after his arrest. Stories circulating online claim he's gained attention inside, with inmates gravitating toward him, fighting for proximity and favors, even literally struggling to.
According to you, the inmates are fighting over making his bed.
Yep, Diddy's such a big player in the game in terms of, his power, and he's that guy even in jail. Dudes are getting jealous at other dudes based on who made his bed. And I'm like, yo.
So that's a real thing? Yeah. People are actually making his bed?
Yeah.
Whether true or exaggerated, one thing's clear. These rumors stick because they match a long-standing image people already had of him. And once that image cracks, everything gets looked at through a darker lens. Next, we've got Joaquin Guzman, better known as El Chapo, the dude who went from running the world's most powerful drug cartel to disappearing into the deepest hole the U.S. prison system has. After being extradited from Mexico, he was convicted in 2019 on multiple federal charges, including drug trafficking and organized crime, and sentenced to life plus 30 years, along with forfeiting over $12.6 billion.
Chapo Guzman, Mexico's most notorious drug lord, accused of setting up an industrial-scale trafficking and smuggling operation, a man responsible for tons of shipments of illicit drugs into the United States from Mexico over many, many years, has been convicted by a federal jury in a court in New York City. 10 counts. He's likely to go spend the rest of his life behind bars.
He's now buried inside a DX Florence in Colorado, the most secure prison in America. This is pure isolation, near total solitary confinement, minimal human contact, and every movement controlled. No power, no influence, no escape. His fate is sealed, life inside a concrete box designed to break even the most dangerous men. Next up, Michael Cohen, once Donald Trump's right-hand man, now a cautionary tale. Cohen pled guilty in 2018 to tax evasion, bank fraud, and campaign finance violations tied to hush money payments. He was sentenced to 3 years in federal prison and served time at FCI Otisville in New York. No violence, no cartel ties, but prison erased his status fast. Daily counts, limited movement, commissary lines, no special treatment. After release, supervised probation and legal restrictions followed him right back into the free world. The power was gone, but the consequences stayed. So now the question is simple. When the cameras shut off and the money stops working, do celebs really survive prison, or do they break just like everybody else? Do you think fame is a shield, or does it paint a bigger target on their back? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're riding with unfiltered heat and real revelations, don't just scroll, lock in, tap like, subscribe, and keep it rolling with the next jaw dropper loading up now.